Sorry about that, guys. The memory card filled up again. I thought 16 gig would be fine for these type of things. Obviously not. I'll have to look at getting a larger memory card. Anyway, I've done nothing since. I've just gone over that stitch groove, just to, I can roughly see. What we'll do now is we'll get some thread. I'm going to go with the black for this one. I was going to go with the white and then I changed my mind. So, excuse me a second. Okay. With a nice black. It's a 0.8, I think this particular thread size is. If anybody's interested. As before, 1, 2, 2.5 for this, just to get roughly the, well, 2 and a bit. Because we're not going through the 4 layers. Remember, if you keep that in mind, you'll need 4 and 2 extra bits for your tag ends with three pieces of 4mm veg tan leather when you come to work out the length that you need. So if you use that accordingly, obviously if you've got 5 layers, you're going to need more than 4, you know what I mean? So maybe go to 6 and a little bit, you know what I mean? And obviously there's only 2 here, and it's skived down, so you go less than 4, you know. I hope that makes sense. It will just give you a rough idea how much to pull off. You know, you won't be too short then, or it's always better to have a little bit more. You know, because I'm not keen on doing a stitch. And I mean, sometimes if you've got to start again, it's fine if you go back a couple of stitches and running it. But if you want a nice clean line, it's better to do it all in one go. And that stitching line will be a little bit stronger if it's all just a single thread, I would have thought. Right, well, we'll start. I'd prefer it to be anyway. I mean, it's not a major problem if you run out halfway through. Or, you know, I did a sheath a long time ago where I did, it was a 2-handed cold steel, but it was more like a sword than a machete, and I did a sheath for that and it was monstrous. And obviously if I'd have had to have done all that in one go, the stitching thread would have been out into my garden. And when I've been pulling them tight, I'd have been pulling them forever like this, so I did half and a half and joined them in the middle. It was still a monstrous thread to work with either side of it, but you know, it was just too much to work. There is a time where it's just too much. So we'll stitch this on. Nice pull. Nice pull. As for pricking irons, guys, I use a lot of the Joseph Dixon. I'm lucky in that where I'm from, in the Midlands, we have Joseph Dixon. You know, it's not that far from me at all, and to be honest, they're the best leather tool makers I think in the world. Their stuff's been going for a long time, and I do use a lot of other, I have quite a few other pricking irons as well, some that I've acquired over the years, and I do like their stuff. I mean, I do use these little stainless ones a lot. There's quite a few different brands out there that you could go for. They all give you the same type of thing, and you know, they do a great job. There's not one I'd say, you know, definitely buy, but they're underrated and they're a great tool, pricking irons. They leave a lovely stitch. As when you go, as always, stabbing on, you want to be going back through 1, 2 minimum. I'll get my little pliers for these because they'll be a little bit tight. give those a pull. If any of you are struggling with your, I mean my hands are like leather, pardon the pun. You know, when you work with it a lot and you do a lot of stuff, like me with your hands, then they'll just get tougher. But sometimes if I'm doing long periods of stitching, I use these a lot. These are something I've made and they go on my little fingers. So when you come to pull your stitch line, you know, because I get calluses, and I mean they're that hard now here, but you know, these is out of a bit of nice flexible leather that I've just over time just worn in. These are out of pigskin, which are great, nice and soft and flexible. You know, just pop them on, and then when you come to pull your threads, you know, wrap it around your little finger and it'll just help you pull, you know, and save your fingers. So if you're doing a lot of stitches and you find that there, you know, your hands are getting really sore, it takes a couple of seconds to knock something out like that. If somebody wanted me to do a little video on making something like that, or you know, it's very simple, I'd be happy to do that. Or anyway, take little snippers, leave a little bit on the edge, excuse me, over, so that you can just burn that little bit of extra bit and blob it off. Okay, oh sorry, is that a shut? Sorry, I've only blobbed it off. What we do is we take our overstitch wheel, we'll just neaten those stitches up now, get them to sit more in their line, make everything recess more and be a lot more neater. I mean, these are for making your marks for your stitches, but what they would, you know, it is an overstitch wheel and it's designed to go over your stitches when you're finished, to neaten things up. Right, there we go, and that's your back. Okay, right, so that's where we're at. I'll just put these saddler's needles away. Okay. Right. So we're all in, it's all skived in. Next part is we need to glue that down now, and we get all that nice and neat. So I need to make a line from there to there, because that's where I'll need to glue to, from that corner to that corner. I don't really want the glue going over that line, because then it's going to run up into the actual belt loop itself. So we'll go just under that really. We can glue that down. Let me see. Just under that actually. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do now is we'll get some glue on here now. Let's put the ruler back. I bought this glue really for the. Well, I've had this ages. For the brush at the time. Because it came with a brush. Like I say, I've always used the other stuff that I buy in the bigger pots. I just find it's a better contact adhesive. They're all good. Before this I used to use the Evo Stick Time Bond, which is nice. It gives you a little bit of time to you know, if you to manoeuvre stuff. And put just a little bit on there. Okay. Some stuff as well with the glue, one of the other reasons that put me off with that time bond, if I'm being honest, was I found when I was using it, it was causing me, I mean, I don't know whether other people, for me, it was causing me to have really, really bad headaches, the time bond, the Evo Stick time bond. I don't know why, but for me, that particular contact adhesive didn't sit well with me at all. I'd come in every day from work and my head would be pounding, and then, you know, I found my other contact adhesive, and which I get from Abbey Leathers, and I've never looked back really with that. Okay, as always, this will have 2 coats. We'll start looking at the welts. Just give it a couple more seconds, and we'll put that extra coat on. While I'm here, what I'm also going to do while I'm here now is also paint a little bit of tan coat in the inside. I can find my brush. It's got to be that one. Seems clean for me. It must be, unless this is a newer one. Where's my tan coat brush? Must be. Anyway, all the glue's drying. We'll I need to top that pot back up. We'll give this inside of this, which will seal it. It'll keep those fibres. It'll also stop the, you know, for some reason the dye leaking onto your customer's belt. It'll make it a lot more impervious to water. It's just something I've always done. Also do the same for the inside of the strap too. It's an extra procedure, it's an extra expense, but to me, for your customers, it's worth doing. I shall also put a bit of extra there. I'll let that dry. I might even give this another coat while I'm waiting of contact adhesive. And where I've burnished, I'll just very, very slightly just seal those edges in with the tan coat. All that hard work you've done then will be kept as it was when you burnished it. Okay. You take your time when you're using this, guys. This is one product you do not want to be running over on, because what it will do is it will resist your finishes and stuff. It won't allow you to apply that so well, if at all. So be extra careful if you do that with this. Right, okay. Let's clean this brush out. No water. Okay. I'm going to give this another coat of just a light coat, nothing extreme, just another very light, just over the top coat. Just give me peace of mind. This will be really into the fibres now, and normally I probably wouldn't do this with my own contact adhesive, but with this I've never had a problem with it, but I know now for definite I won't. Okay, I'll just let that dry a second, and what we'll start doing then is into the scrap drawer, and something like this, or I'll find something to the scrap drawer, and we'll start looking at the welts. When you buy your leather, this is the kind of thing you want to be looking for on the back. You don't want it hairy, or you want it very, very smooth, like that. You know, if you rub like that, there shouldn't be all hairs coming up, or you know, that's the kind of quality when you're buying your hides you should be getting like that. You don't want them to be, if they come in and they're all shiny or stuff like that, they're not selling you the best quality, and they're you know, they're probably trying to pull a fast one. It means they've probably been pared down, or you know, they've burnished the top to hide some of the marks, or you know, just be careful with your, you know, because that there is what makes your projects and stuff. You know, always don't skimp on it. Just try and buy the best you can, especially if you're making a present for somebody or something like that. You know, just right. It does make a difference. It might make your life easier when you're working with it too. Right. Now I need to concentrate just a second with this to make sure this lines up properly, and I need to get this bit right. This bit's quite important. I don't want to be going just in on the edges here really. I will be able to, I'll get a little bit of remover down the edges to blend that after, but not much. So I need to get this right. Okay. As I said before, you know, if you're doing your contact adhesives right, it should, you know, it shouldn't be squirting out the edges. You might get a little bit, but you should be able to just literally rub it with your finger and it'll just come off. Right, okay, you're going to have to excuse me now, lads. I'm going to have to give this a good old bashing. So, excuse the shaking. You see, with a proper smooth face hammer, I'm really whacking that. And as you can see by the leather, there is not a mark anywhere on it. You know, you'd think, you know, when you was hitting with that, if you smooth that off properly and it's got a nice convex face like that, you know, when you wallop that leather, and I mean wallop it, you will not have a mark at all if the hammer's done properly. And that's the godsend with them hammers, because you can really make those two pieces. You know, it really helps the bond by doing that. That and then clips after gives you an amazing bond. But that's more than enough there for now. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do, this is where we're at now. As you can see, that's where we're at. What I'm going to do now, it's getting a bit long this one, I'll cut you off. I'm going to have me a sneaky fag, get me some more pop, and I'll find a piece of leather out and we'll start looking at this welt system, and we'll get this sheath into shape. And I want this done today, this one, and I've got so much more to do. You know, I don't think I'm going to be able to make many knives this week or next week, to be honest. I've got so much to do. I'll try and film as much as I can, lads, but I have to watch I don't get too behind. So my waiting list is growing, and I've got existing orders I've got to get through. So anyway, okay, so I'll cut you off for now, lads, and I'll see you in a minute.